The last time we were here, I talked to you about the spring flowers, the tulips and the daffodils, and we talked about the parts of the flower. We talked about the reason for a flower. It was really exciting. So I wanted to build on our lesson from then. Uh, there are many, many types of flowers. I went out and I was looking for flowers in and around my house. And I found some more tulips here. I found cherry blossoms from my cherry tree. I found lilac flowers on my lilac bush. And I found a weed type of flower in my backyard. Lots of these growing. So lots of flowers. I also have some pictures of some flowers I would like to show you. Okay, we talked about the different parts of a flower and even dissected a tulip last time. And we discovered that not only were there petals, exactly 6, and that there were 6 stamen, and also the pistil or the carpel right in the center. And we discovered that there was pollen on the stamen. Well, let's look at the parts of a flower close up in some of these pictures. Now, what types of stems do you think these plants have? Look at this tulip stem. It's nice and green. It's smooth and straight and thin. How about this lilac branch? This one's rough and woody and it has bumpy parts to it. Look at the stem on this plant. These are thick and spiny, and they feel like they're mushy inside, like there's lots and lots of liquid, like a sponge. This is a branch with flowers from my cherry tree. It has a stem that looks like the trunk of a tree. And look, it has all these little parts and leaves growing off of the stem. I don't see any other leaves growing off of this stem besides at the very, very bottom. Let's look at one more. Look at this. This is a green, slender, smooth stem, but it has stems and leaves coming off of it too. All different types of stems. To see the parts of the stem, we can look at 2 different types. Stems come in 2 big categories. There are woody stems, like tree branches and bush branches. And there are herbaceous stems that are smooth and sleek. There are different types of stems. I had never thought of that before. Let's look at the parts of the stem so that we can easily see on the branchy, woody stem that there are nodes and leaf scars. Let's take a closer look. So now that we've looked at these stems, what do you think the purpose of a stem is? I bet you've already noticed that a stem holds up the flower that's on the tippy top. And it holds the leaves of the plant. But what else do you think the stem does? What is the other purpose? There are many types of stems, and they have a job to do besides hold up the leaves and the flowers of the plant. They also take the nutrients and the water up to the leaves and the flowers, and they bring the sugar, the food that the plant makes, down. So there's like two highways. There's one that goes one way and one that goes the other, and they have special names. One is called the xylem. I'm going to write that word down. Because it's a tricky word. Xylem. The xylem is what takes the water and the nutrients from the ground up to the edges of the plant, the leaves, the petals. And the phloem, or maybe phloem, I forgot to check my pronunciation before this lesson, takes the sugar or food that the plant makes down. And they're like these little tiny tubes inside of the stem. And in order to see the inside of a stem, we're going to have to take a closer look. I thought it might be fun to do a science experiment with you, and I would like you to do it at home if you can. You'll need some celery if you have it. If you have a whole bunch of celery that's connected at the bottom, it would be really cool if you could cut the bottom and keep it about this short. Sometimes you'll see the leaves attached to the stem growing inside the celery stalks. Put the clippings from the bottom of your celery in a glass and make sure you keep it halfway full every day, and record what happens. Maybe you could make some type of measurement. With the rest of the celery, you're going to get food coloring, different colors if you'd like, but one will do, and water. I'm going to fill this up, but I want my water to be really dark. And I'm going to choose a celery stalk. Make sure the ends are freshly cut. This will help with the experiment. Stick a celery piece inside. I'm curious. I wonder what might happen if I put inside this tulip with my celery stalk. What are your predictions? What do you think might happen if the celery and the tulip are inside of this glass of colored water? Write down what you think. So we're about to discover how stems serve the purpose of a plant. There are many, many types of plants, which means there's many types of stems. There are different types of plants that creep and crawl along walls or along the ground. There are some with big, sticky bushes. There's some elegant, beautiful stems like tulips and daffodils, and there are short stems and there are long stems and thick stems and thin stems. And they serve a wonderful purpose to hold up the leaves and the flowers to the sun, and to also carry the nutrients in the water needed for the plant to grow and to survive. We also talked about and reviewed the flower. Now let's discover the reason for a flower. I hope you enjoyed this lesson as much as I did. I can't wait to see what types of plants you find and what types of experiments you can do with them. Till next time.